Number 1 ranked University of St. Francis entered the hostile environment of St. Vincent Health Field, and after a 45-yard touchdown run and a 54-yard touchdown reception, the Cougs were down 14-0 with 7:50 left to play in the first quarter. But your number 1 ranked Cougs were able to rebound for a 31-24 victory.
I felt we had a big emotional game the week before. If you remember the homecoming game, we came out and the first quarter lasted 3 months for St. X. We got after them, and I think the adrenaline cycle was flowing. And sometimes when you get so high, when you come down, it takes a little bit to get recharged. I was concerned a bit going into the game, and I think we started a little flat. We obviously wanted to get after them and beat them, and I knew that we would come around, but it was concerned we were going to dig a hole there. But we responded in the second quarter, and of course they got the big play right before the half. So I'm proud of our guys. Didn't panic. Came in the locker room, regrouped, made some adjustments, and went out the second half and totally controlled it. I mean, you get right down to it. I mean, they had a few big plays, a long run, a couple of passes, but we controlled the football over 41 minutes. Which is unheard of, and you do that in a ball game. You don't give an opponent too many chances. They have to big play.
And a few of the Cougars were up for big plays. We start you off with running back Justin Green, whose 69-yard kickoff return following the second Marian touchdown set up the Cougars' first field goal. Green's inspirational play led to 276 all-purpose yards and 2 touchdowns. Quarterback Nick Ferrer was doing what Nick does and is now number 3 all-time on the MSFA career passing yards list with 10,157, while sophomore wide receivers Rocky James and Dan Rixey combined for 22 catches and 309 yards. Senior wide receiver Sean Boswell, he provided the security blanket.
Well, Justin ran as hard as I've seen him run. I mean, the last score, winning touchdown, he put his head down and got it. And, he popped it outside and put his head down and got in the end zone. Nick was flawless in the second half. He completed his last 14 passes. It's unheard of. 33, 38, over 400 yards, 3 touchdowns, the hits just keep on coming, and got a great receiving core. And the guys are making plays. James and Rixey are outstanding. I thought Boswell had an unbelievable game. Made crucial plays. That last one broke their back, the first down catch. So we're playing well. And the gauntlet continues in the MSFA East. You go from Ambrose to St. X to Marian to an undefeated Concordia. Santa Heights has won 3 in a row. So, it just is a challenge week after week after week. And, it's tough to make sure that you are ready to rock and roll each and every Saturday.
No doubt about it, the MSFA is the elite conference in NAIA football. But back to the Marian game. After redshirt freshman Gavin Gardner knocked in the 34-yard field goal, junior linebacker Marcus Stepp took it upon himself to pump some life into the defense.
Well, he was our player of the game, and I suspended him the week before. Came down on him pretty hard, and didn't know how he was going to respond. And I couldn't be prouder. Could not be prouder. He responded like a champ. Handled it well. Came back exactly like I had hoped and prayed he would. He did. And we expect him to be the best player he can possibly be, and to be a force from here on out.
Through the week, he was kind of down on himself because some things that happened in the past week with him and his playing time. But coming into the game, I could tell by looking in his eyes, he was real focused, and he just showed out on Saturday night, and we needed that. I believe he had a huge sack, third quarter, put a good little move on the running back, and that kind of had our little momentum our way. Yeah, he shined. In
the defensive force, the Cougars exuberated in the second half, held the potent Knights offensive attack to just 96 total yards and 0 points, a dominating performance.
We did. I mean, we made some adjustments in the second half. We weren't going to let them have the big play. They were going to have to earn it. We missed some tackles in the first half, and it was just a matter of a focus and an effort and remembering, the basic fundamentals of the game and what they're taught and how they're taught to tackle. And we did that a whole lot better in the second half. So, kids came out and they did it. They pulled it off.
I feel that my quietness and my shyness to interact with all my teammates kind of hurt us in a bit. I could have picked everybody up when they was making big plays, but the start of the game was pretty awkward. Everybody was running to the ball slow. So basically in the first half, we were trying to, in a way, zone them off, and that led to certain creases in our defense to be wide open. So that's why they was getting all them deep balls and deep runs. Shoes interception on the sideline. That got us going right there. And instantly, everybody just started clicking after that. I think they caught it our way because Shoe and the receiver had hands on the ball, but the receiver was out of bounds and Shoe was still in bounds with like the majority of the possession. So instantly, they caught it our way, and that sparked us up real good.
And on the perimeter, Wilmer did it. He pulled off the perfect pass deflection with over 14,000 eyeballs on him.
My coach had me first pressed, and I was supposed to bail out to my zone. So when I'm bailing out, the guy got behind me, so I did not know where he was at. And as soon as I tried to man turn into him, he was already gone. So I'm like, oh man. And his eyes started getting big, so I was like, oh, the ball is coming. But luckily, he underthrew the ball, and I was able to get my hand in there and get the ball out. But if that was probably Nick or somebody, that'd have probably been 6.
The junior finished the game third on the team with 4 tackles and had 2 pass breakups. On the season, he ranks third on the team, recording 27 tackles from his cornerback position.
You think they might want to run the other way. I don't know. He's a great player. He's a physical specimen. He's a smart, instinctive football player. He's an uplifting human being to be around. He's always got that smile on his face. He's a great team leader. He's an inspiration to those around him. So whatever it takes, he's going to get it done. Whether it's covering passes, making picks, making tackles, Wilmer be ready to do it.
I mean, yeah, my coaches kind of harp on that. Anything that comes your way, make sure you make the tackle, roll or run. But throughout the year, I kind of been trying to get better at that because I used to be an ankle biter. So that'd be leading to more yards after a tackle rather than sticking them right there where they're at. But really, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing that I'm getting all these tackles, but hopefully it's a good.
Well, he also has great length, he's 6'1" plus, with those long arms. And then you throw in the jets that he has to accelerate and go make plays. It makes him a very, very special player.
A very special player indeed. And Wilmer had a special bond with his Warren Central teammates in high school. He was one of 7 Dub C recruits to join the Cougar football program. But now, in his junior season, there's only Wilmer and his best friend Vito Tapia left from the 7. Theirs is a bond that started 7 years ago on the field.
We kind of had a great bond at Warren, and we wanted to bring it into the college environment. But sadly, it didn't work out that way where everybody could stay together and mold into a great group. Everybody had to go their different ways, but luckily me and Vito was tough enough to stay here. I believe he came here in the 7th grade. We went to different middle schools, and he attended Warren with me freshman year. The whole freshman year, he did not talk to anybody. He didn't talk to the coach, anybody. And that kind of flipped sophomore year when we both played JV. And I believe he was playing Terre Haute, and he took my interception from me. And after that, we just clicked in a way, became best buds. We're kind of the same in a way. We're both quiet. We don't really talk, but if I give him eye contact, he could probably know what I'm thinking. It's kind of like my best friend. Freshman year and sophomore year, he was my roommate, and we just always hung out, always watched film, always did everything together. And that kind of helped me in a way that he really doesn't notice, but it really helped me here to grow. I don't know about him, but me personally, it helped me grow as a person and an athlete.
The family bond with Warren Central players spills over to the Ben Davis football players, similar to the USF Marian rivalry. The 91st Circle City rivalry had a different feel this year, as both teams entered having suffered tragedies. Warren Central senior Dejon Anderson died from injuries sustained in a shooting. Ben Davis senior starting safety Rondell Allen was shot several times this July in a drive-by shooting and is now in a wheelchair.
You lost a great player and a great friend. You've got another one that's sick. I went to see him a few weeks ago in the hospital. We've got a young man on a tragic night, the Sunday before we to start Monday practice, took 6 bullets. He's here tonight for the first time. First time he's been out. If we don't take care of each other and love each other, then nothing else really matters. This is just a game. Me and Coach have been together. I'm a Warren grad, fellas, 1979. I coached at Warren from 1996. There's no hatred here, fellas. There's just somebody that wants to coach football and loves competing against him. So we're coming together tonight because we're going to pray. In a public institution, we're going to pray for the safety of people because that's the right thing to do. So bow your heads.
Can you tell the significance of getting together as sit at the field?
Well, the tragedy of the streets here in Indiana, maybe I'm not doing enough. I'm preaching all the time, every chance I get, but they lost a young man in the spring. We lost a young man or not lost him, but almost lost a young man end of July, and it's hitting so close to home. Our kids are getting in places they don't need to be. They're in situations they don't need to be, and some of it's not their fault, wrong place, wrong time, but it's tragic, and we got to stop losing people. And I'm just, if you put this on the air, so be it. The moms and dads got to take their kids and put them in the house. Quit letting them run the streets at 1, 2, 3 in the morning. Put them in the house. If they don't like it, come get me, and I'll come get them.
With that, the game really brings sparks to everybody. It's a very special game. Win or lose, you feel that you got to have their back at the end of the day, because it could be your teammate, their teammate that ends up in a situation as of like Dejon or Rondell that went to Ben Davis. You just don't want to see that happen to anybody, really. So yeah, the game, you don't want to be friends with them on the field, all that. You want to win, but at the end of the day, you want to come together in a way so that stuff like you could prevent stuff like that. I guarantee you, if Dejon or Rondell was with the right set of people at the right time, they wouldn't have been in them incidents. Just like in high school, you hate the rivalry, but at the end of the day, you got friends that attend different schools. And for me, I know half the team at Marian, so even during the play, I hear people on the sideline just making jokes like, "Oh, you suck, 41," like stuff like that. I know who it is, I know all that, but yeah, you kind of get a bond with it, a love-hate thing with it.
So now, sitting at 5-0, the number 1 ranked Cougs enter the second half of the regular season schedule, with undefeated Concordia entering Bishop Darcy Stadium this Saturday. The Cardinals bring with them the number 2 ranked scoring defense in the country and the number 12 ranked rushing attack, averaging 237 yards per game.
Well, they have a stout defensive line and the best linebacker that we're going to play thus far. Offensively, the best quarterback we've seen thus far, the best tailback we've seen thus far, the best receiver. They've got players. They're not undefeated just by chance. They're a good football team. And boy, I've got respect for them, and we're going to have to buckle up and get ready.
Physically, I think we're there. Mentally, I still think we're a little weak in a way, because we have some people that's possibly could be like suspended the next game, so I don't know how we're going to handle that on the offensive end. But overall, I think we can overcome it, because offense has really been clicking real heavy, even heavier than last year with Seth and Monte on the other end. People didn't think the offense would be that good, but they proved everybody wrong. So I think overall, as a collective unit, we'll be able to overcome the suspensions and all that and beat Concordia.